Alright, what's happening everybody? It's your boy Akeem. Welcome to today's Scout Report. Here to give you a report on Ty Montgomery, the wide receiver coming out of Stanford. Now he's a great versatile player and I think he will be used a lot as a return specialist in the National Football League. Talking a little bit about him, he's actually from Dallas, Texas, where he played wide receiver, quarterback, and running back for high school, and he did well in academics. That's why he actually had a good scholarship to play for Stanford. Now during his career he had a great year in 2013 where he was second team All-American as an all-purpose player, and when he led the nation with 31.2 yards per kick return and a couple scores in 2013. And then same as 2014 he led the team as a great return specialist. Actually during his career he was a great return specialist for the Stanford Cardinals, and he showed a couple of great plays as a wide receiver as well. Now it's time for me to talk about his strengths and weaknesses. First, his strengths: he has great versatility. As I mentioned before, he can line up at tailback, at slot, at wide receiver, and I mentioned earlier about a return specialist, punt or kickoff return, but I see him more as a threat as a kickoff return specialist because he does a good job in open field and finding the holes to slip past and get to the end zone. I think he's an outstanding return specialist who could possibly become a Pro Bowler at that level as a special teamer. Now, as a receiver, he definitely still needs to work on some things. Now, going on to his weaknesses. Now, he has 16 drops during his the last 3 seasons at wide receiver for the Cardinals. I'm not really impressed with that. Hopefully, he could just show a little bit of a better job as a pass catching player. Now, going back to his strengths, he does have excellent size and good speed. He runs a 4.5 40 and he weighs 221 pounds at 6 foot. Great bulky size, so that shows that he definitely has. Shows he can be a durable, stern type player at wide receiver, which is a good threat like my man Antoine Goodley coming out of Baylor. Now going back to his weaknesses though, I told you he has some drops throughout his career, and he needs to do a better job in his route running. Sometimes he's very inconsistent in his route running and doesn't really show confidence as a route runner. And he just needs to work on that as well. Now, another thing that I have noticed is that he doesn't really have a big radius that you want your wide receiver to have. That's why I see him more as a slot receiver, but he doesn't really have too many yards after the catch, particularly in 2014 where he had 9.9 yards per catch. I wish he was just a little bit better, at least 15 yards, and show him more versatility in the open field. That is a little bit of a concern for me. I do see him more as a slot receiver, catch a couple short passes and gain some yardage. I do not see him as a like that big time deep ball threat. I had high hopes of him being a deep ball threat, but he hasn't really shown too much in 2014 as a wide receiver, but did show promise as a special teamer. And going back to another good thing, a good trait about him is that he is a good teammate and he is accountable for his action. He does well on and off the field. I think he has a great image, and a lot of interviewers and scouts do like that about him. Now, where I project him for this year's draft, I actually project him as a late 4th rounder of this year. He still needs to work on some things as a wide receiver, like showing better hands and route running ability, but he is an excellent return specialist, and he is possibly the top return specialist entering this year's draft. Like I said, he was an All-American in 2013. So I project him as a late 4th rounder of this year's draft. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys will be in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to give you 3 more scout reports for today. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man, Keenum Call. Be easy.